the loss of a very long-lived man. And I want to especially express sympathy to Cindy and Lisa and Cheryl. All your memories, all your years sort of culminate today, don't they? Well, Bob had a very full life, and he had a lot of seasons in his life. As I read his obituary, I thought, wow, there's so much to say, but we can't be here too long today because it's pretty hot out here, so we won't be too long. But one of the things that Cindy mentioned is that he was a farm boy through and through. His dad died young, and before his dad died and after his dad died, he worked long hours doing those farm chores. And I'm a farm girl, so I get that. I know what that means. And those are the most hardworking people I think I know. Coming from this background, he was a really hard worker his whole life. Everything he did, he worked hard. It's interesting, one of the things he did out of many was working at a Texaco service station, and he recalled filling tractor tires with antifreeze for winterization. That was fascinating to me, coming from a farm, because I don't ever remember that, so wow. Joined the Marines when he was 17. He followed his two older brothers to the Marines, and he had a 20-year career in the Marines. And because of his hard work ethic, which never stopped, he did reach the rank of Master Sergeant before he retired. He married Dorothy, had 3 daughters. Sounds like this family sort of lived all over the place in the United States and in the world. They lived in a lot of places. And then he worked for the government, worked for the state of Iowa, and retired from there at 55. Now that's 2 very full careers before he was even 55 years old, which to me is amazing. And after his marriage to Dorothy ended, he later married Elizabeth, and they had 38 years of marriage, which also brought another daughter, Cheryl, into the family. So you have 38 years worth of memories. It seems he had numerous phases of career. After the military, he went back to farming 10 acres, and after he retired from the government, raising just about everything we could possibly think of. Boy, to be able to go to a place like that and buy all those fresh things would be amazing. He enjoyed his siblings, he enjoyed his family, but all of his siblings have gone before him. He also enjoyed his time with all of his girls. Cindy mentioned that he liked to bowl. He had a white bowling ball. Does anybody remember that white bowling ball?
Yep.
And Cindy actually mentioned that one of the times she bowled with him once, and on that particular day she bowled better than him. And I'm guessing, I don't know if he let you win or if you really were better, but I'm sure that was fun for him. He bought his girls a pony when they lived in Indianola, and he also brought home a piano one day from, I think it was from an auction, right? So, and this is neat, when he was in Vietnam, Cindy recalls that he would sit down with a tape recorder and a microphone and talk to them. And when they got that, they'd listen to it, and then they'd record one and send it back. Now, in this day and age with our technology, that may be a little hard to imagine, but back then, that would have been amazing to be able to hear your voices. I remember those years. I'm old enough, I remember those years. And when Cindy lived in California for a time, she mentioned that he wrote her letters. You know, you don't hear that these days either. Actually writing letters and mailing letters. And he brought them music boxes from Okinawa. Cindy mentioned a trip they took as a family, one of their big vacations, with Liz and Bob and the girls. His sister lived in Virginia, and not Virginia, Washington. Her name was Virginia. And he wanted to see her, and he wanted his girls to see her. So apparently he drove through Colorado, stayed by the ocean for a bit, drove back up through the coastline up to Washington, and then back through Yellowstone. What a trip! What memories! That's a big trip. That was a while ago, so that's a lot of travel, and those are just really nice memories. And through Colorado, Ouray, Colorado apparently was a favorite place of his, so much so that he went back there the next year. Maybe other times too, I'm not sure. And I didn't get to talk to Cheryl, but there's probably lots more stories where those came from. Didn't get to talk to all of you, but it seems that what most defined this man is he had his hands in in the soil for much of his life. He loved the earth. And he knew how to make it produce. He knew how to make things grow. And as we bring him, as we leave him today in this final resting place, we're just thankful for his life, and we honor all that he was. And I would pray that all of the memories that you all have, so many years of memories, would be a strength and a comfort to you. And I want to read, this is just from the Bible, this is from Scripture. It seemed very appropriate today, and it just says, there's a time for everything. And here's what it says. For everything, there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to turn away, a time to search and a time to quit searching, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be quiet and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time. I just want to say a prayer for you. Lord, thank you for this long life that Bob had, Lord, and all of his lineage that's here, Lord, and all of those who knew him and loved him. I pray that you would strengthen them, that you would be with them. And Lord, I ask that all of those memories, Lord, would be just a great comfort in the days to come. And as it says in the Word, may the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. Thank you for allowing me to share today. We're going to pass this on to the military so that we can honor the service of this patriot man. Thank you.
Right here. President of the United States Marine Corps, and the Great Lakes. Please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for his loved one's honor.